Chapter 7. As Samara stood in awe, watching the monstrous creature wilt and shrink before her eyes, she couldn't help but marvel at the strange and eerie transformation taking place. The beast, once towering and fearsome, now crumbled into a mere shadow of its former self, revealing a small, frail man beneath the layers of darkness. The blood that had once pulsed with unearthly power now trickled away, leaving behind a shattered shell of what once was. It was a surreal sight, akin to watching a shadow dissipate under the light of dawn, a reminder of the fleeting nature of power and the delicate balance between life and death. In that moment, Samara couldn't help but ponder the fragility of existence and the haunting beauty of the unknown as she whispered to herself, "In the shadows, true selves are unveiled, and in the darkness, reality unfolds." The crowd that had gathered around couldn't believe their own eyes as they witnessed this extraordinary event unfold. Gasps of disbelief filled the air as they watched the creature shrink back into its human form, now only half the size of the terrifying beast it had transformed into. Standing there, completely exposed and lifeless, it seemed as if time had frozen. Suddenly, in a swift and unexpected turn of events, the body crumbled into a fine dust, leaving no evidence of the person who had been lying there just moments before. The onlookers were left in awe, struggling to comprehend the inexplicable phenomenon they had just witnessed. Samara approached the man whose throat had been viciously torn apart, her heart weighed down by sorrow. Gently, she traced her fingers along his eyelids, tenderly closing them as a final act of respect. Bowing her head, she whispered, "I deeply apologize for my failure to shield you from harm." A single tear escaped from Samara's right eye, mirroring the anguish she had felt when she tragically lost her own parents. "Father," she whispered in her mind, her voice trembling with uncertainty, "how can I bear this burden alone? I am but a solitary soul." The weight of responsibility pressed heavily upon Samara's shoulders as she stood there, grappling with her own limitations. The chilling reality of her powerlessness engulfed her, leaving her questioning her ability to protect those she cared for. With a heavy heart, she rose from her seat, her eyes filled with tears that threatened to spill over. Slowly, she turned her back on the scene before her, the pain etched on her face. Each step she took felt like a burden, as if the weight of the world was on her shoulders. As she finally reached her motorcycle, she couldn't help but let out a deep sigh, a mixture of exhaustion and sorrow. The once formidable weapon that she held tightly in her hand now seemed useless, a mere reminder of the battles fought and the losses endured. Reluctantly, she gently returned it to its sheath, her hands quivering ever so slightly. The weight of the moment hung heavy in the air as she completed the action, a mix of emotions swirling within her. It was a symbol of a life she had chosen, a life filled with danger and uncertainty. But now, it felt like a burden she could no longer bear. As she swung her leg over the bike, her movements were slow and deliberate, as if she was trying to hold onto every moment, every memory. Her helmet, a shield that had protected her from the harsh realities of the world, now felt like a heavy crown upon her head. With a deep breath, she gripped the handlebars tightly, her knuckles turning white. The engine roared to life, its sound echoing her inner turmoil. And as she sped away, the screeching of the tires seemed to echo the pain in her heart, a painful reminder of the path she had chosen and the sacrifices she had made. The haunting echoes of the thoughts reverberate relentlessly within Samara's mind, as if they were a dire warning from the heavens themselves. "The fate of the world rests upon your shoulders," they whisper, sending shivers down her spine. Desperately, she tries to anchor herself to the present, struggling to make sense of the weighty responsibility that has been thrust upon her. With each passing moment, the words grow louder, their significance becoming more profound. As Samara rides away from the chaotic scene that unfolded before her, her mind becomes a battleground of conflicting emotions. The weight of the world's protection bears down upon her, and she can't help but question her own capabilities. Doubt creeps in, like a venomous serpent coiling around her thoughts, threatening to suffocate her resolve. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, a flicker of determination ignites within her, fueling her determination to rise above her fears and fulfill her destined role. The world seems to blur around Samara as she continues her journey, the landscape passing by in a whirlwind of colors and shapes. The words that echoed in her mind continue to resonate, their meaning etching itself deeper into her consciousness. She knows that she cannot turn away from this responsibility, for the consequences of her inaction would be catastrophic. With every stride of her horse, she becomes more resolved to embrace her destiny, to protect the world from the impending darkness that looms ahead. As she left the scene, a sense of anticipation filled her heart, for she knew that the path ahead held countless mysteries waiting to be unraveled. It's time for me to delve deep into the enigmatic darkness that shrouds this world, she whispered to herself, determined to embrace the unknown. The weight of responsibility settled upon her shoulders as she realized that the task of understanding the truth now rested solely on her. With each passing mile, a newfound realization dawned upon her. The time had come to confront the harsh realities that lay hidden beneath the surface of the world she once knew. As the road stretched out before her, she made a solemn vow to explore the depths of darkness, to uncover the secrets that had eluded her for far too long. The burden of this knowledge weighed heavily upon her, but she was resolute in her pursuit of understanding. As she drove away, a surge of determination coursed through her veins. The moment had arrived for her to cast aside her naivety and confront the stark truth that surrounded her. The world, once seen through rose-tinted glasses, now demanded her attention and understanding. With a resolute gaze fixed on the horizon, she acknowledged the daunting task that lay ahead, ready to embrace the darkness and emerge stronger on the other side.